biding my time, I hope that it ain't so. Facing the truth, the eye of the needle. And even if we're not solving this riddle, there's no taking back all the deeds that we've done. There's a lot that we did wrong, looking back on all of the shit we've done. I cannot believe that it's been so long, that we're in the eye of the needle. When you don't like or love me, I breathe it all out and I breathe in. When there is no way back in, and we are the eye of the needle. I breathe it all out and I breathe in. We are the eye of the needle. I'm biding my time, I know the way this goes. I try to stand tall with nothing to lean on. All quiet and still, an echo that goes on. And I'm not taking back all the deeds that I've done. There's a lot that we did wrong, looking back on all of the shit we've done. I cannot believe that it's been so long, that we're in the eye of the needle. When you don't like or love me, I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. When there is no way back in, and we are the eye of the needle. I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. We are the eye of the needle. I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. We are the eye of the needle. Just breathe it out, then breathe in. When we're in the eye of the needle, so breathe it all out, then breathe in. 'Cause we're in the eye of the needle. When you don't like or love me, then I'll face the eye of the needle. I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. We're the eye of the needle. We are the eye of the needle. I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. I breathe it all out, then I breathe in. Breathe it all out.
so tired, darling. Oh, so don't say you're sorry, 'cause I don't care. We can't mend our heartaches with your despair. Stop being a martyr, it will never heal you.
At the Surabaya Indonesia gym as the CLS Knights take on the Mono Vampires. CLS Knights looking to keep their flickering playoff hopes alive, while Mono Vampires has more on their mind. They want that outright semifinals bid. Can they get that done? We will find out in just a few moments. Great to have you with us in our continuing coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League right here in Indonesia. My name is Noel Zarate, alongside Sajatam Kulsumbuan, the guy we call the total knockout from Thailand, or the Sultan of Stats. Let's just call him TK for now. Good evening, TK.
Yeah, it's just such a great atmosphere here. Always a pleasure to be here in Surabaya.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, these two squads are having completely contrasting fortunes facing them right now. The CLS Knights, a win here today can keep their playoff hopes alive, but they need some help from other teams. For the Mono Vampires, of course, number 2 may be a little bit out of reach right now, but one win at a time. That's what everybody's been talking about.
Yeah, for sure. At both teams, they're coming in with a lot of hopes on the line right now. CLS Knights, they need this win. Mono Vampires, they want this win as well. Just a lot going on here.
Let's take a look at the previous game of these two squads. They had a common denominator. They both went up against the Saigon Heat. Same results, 5 points separating both teams, but it was a loss for the CLS Knights Indonesia and a win for Mono Vampires. I mean, look at Mono Vampire. That's probably the highest combined score in the league so far.
Well, yeah, the Mono Vampires are such a good offensive team. They can do everything on the floor. They can shoot threes. They have the big guy Sam Deguar down low. Once they get their offense clicking, as they did against the Saigon Heat, that's just something that any team in the league is difficult to stop.
And of course, the previous matchup between these two squads, you got to go back to November 29. It was a 98-85 victory by the Mono Vampires against CLS Knights Indonesia. But we were talking about this before we went on the air, TK. These are completely different lineups right now.
Yeah, that was so early in the season. 2 different teams. The CLS Knights, they didn't have Shane Edwards yet. They didn't have Keith Jensen yet. The Mono Vampires, they didn't have Sam Deguara and Michael Singletary yet. That's just 2 completely different games, but it's just up to which teams have adjusted better since then.
And you're looking at the lineups now being introduced by our Coliseum announcer. It's always an energetic venue here at the Gor Kertajaya Gym. But again, and all that energy combined for a win here today. I mean, this has been a completely different and overhauled, if you might want to say, Mono Vampires lineup with the addition of 7'5" Sam Deguara. They also have Mike Singletary, and they have so much to bring to the table. We have the national anthem in just a few moments. Picking up from where we left off, these two teams right now, almost at the bottom, are the CLS Knights. Looking at their lineup, they don't deserve to be down there.
Yeah, Keith Jensen has just been a great addition to the team, as well as Shane Edwards. They deserve to have a lot more wins in that column, but it's just got to start here. It's just got to start from this game if they're going to still want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Well, 3-11, each team plays 20 games. Now, let's take a look at the Mono Vampires Basketball Club. The starters, of course, Sam Digora there in the middle, Mike Singletary, Paul Zamar, Darumpan Apiron Vilaychay, and of course, Jason Brickman, who has been the glue guy for this squad this season.
Yeah, he's such a great player, both on and off the court. Everybody loves to play with him. Everybody loves to be around him. And he's just a great player to play with.
And the CLS Knights, their starting lineup pretty much the same, of course, with the addition of Keith Jensen. That dislodges Sandy Corneao from the starting lineup, but it's still Freddie Leash, Mario Wuisang, the living legend of Indonesian basketball, Brian Williams, along with Shane Edwards.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Sandy Corneao has to go back down to the bench, but Coach Coco has got to adapt to that. He's got to figure out how to keep Sandy Corneao still productive, even though he's bringing him off the bench in later game situations.
So for the Mono Vampires, mathematically, we're talking about this earlier, TK, mathematically, probably they could pick up, if they win here today, probably 2 more wins. If they sweep the remaining assignments, they deserve to be the number 2 team in the league.
Yeah, and for sure, I think that's one of their goals right now, because if you get to the top 2 seeds, you go directly to the semifinals, and that's something that the teams at the top themselves have to stay focused on. They can't get complacent, even playing against a team at the bottom of the table like the CLS Knights.
Right.
That's one of the things that will keep the Mono Vampires motivated in this game.
Now at 3-11, the CLS Knights, as you take a look at Coach Coco Nugroho, the CLS Knights, if they somehow sweep their remaining games and finish at with a record of 9-11, that is probably going to assure them of making it into the playoffs. We can take a look at the coaching staff now of the Mono Vampires. A lot has changed since Douglas Marty took over the squad.
Yeah, the Mono Vampires, since the last time they played in the ABL, that was a different coaching staff. They didn't end it up so well. They changed a lot of things. They changed the culture, and they've produced a productive run here this time in their season.
And here we go, winning the tap. Well, actually stealing the tap would be the CLS Knights Indonesia. That's going to be a violation, so the first possession will officially go to the visiting Mono Vampires. Now 7'5" Sam Deguara. Oh, that's going to be a backing violation. So we got back-to-back turnovers to begin this game. What a way to start, TK.
Just the teams are maybe a little bit amped in this matchup. 2 teams just wanting to win this from the start.
Talking about Sam Deguara, the 7'5" Maltese sensation. You covered that game where he threw a touchdown pass from about 65 feet away straight into the goal. That must have been one of the sickest moments of your sportscasting career.
That was just a moment that when you saw the ball go through his hands, you were just praying for him to make it, just for the moment of how absurd it was.
Good defense played inside by the Mono Vampires. We are underway finally here in our first period. First shot, Shane Edwards knocks it down from deep, but that's a good indication of where things are going to go for him today.
And that's a good start for Brian Williams. He was starting out on the perimeter, breaking it down, driving inside, drawing the defense, and then kicking out to Shane Edwards. This is a good start for the CLS Knights.
Now, Jason Brickman, he's been the orchestrator. As we mentioned, he's been the glue guy, but according to Mike Singletary, he's actually been the guy in the locker room holding everybody together on the team. On offense right now, CLS Knights Indonesia want to continue with their good start, but they can't get it done from the outside. Mono Vampires now on the attack. Good attack coming here from Darumpan Apiron Vilaychay, and he will draw the early foul from Keith Jensen.
And that's something that Darumpan does really well. He leaks out on defense to get into that transition opportunity. He gets it there, he draws the foul, and he's getting to the line.
Not very many people know, actually, Darumpan Apiron Vilaychay is actually one of the original ABL players way back in 09.
He's a 5-season veteran. He knows how to play in this league, how to adapt the physicality. He's just one of those really smart players.
And I had a conversation with him earlier as he did make his first free throw. To the jeers of the crowd, he knocks down both. longtime member of the Thai national team. I had a word with him earlier. I'm quite impressed with his knowledge of the English language. He speaks better than you and I, TK.
Well, as we mentioned, he's a veteran in the ABL. He has to communicate with so many imports just to get this team going, and that's something that really helps his level of English.
Freddie Lee showing the handles, but can't get the shot to go. Deguara with the first of his many rebounds for today. 8:35 remaining here in the first. There's a step back for Mike Singletary. That one bounces out. And Mario Wuisang, another living legend, the 38-year-old, with the rebound, and he brings it up. They want to get to the post. They want to establish that kind of presence for Shane Edwards. And here's a step back. That's going to be short. Good challenge that time still by Mono Vampires, but they do get it back. Shot clock did not reset, however. It's in 8 seconds. Brian Williams with a step back. A line drive misses everything but the board.
That's just something that the CLS Knights have got to look to avoid, those offensive possessions where they just struggle to find a shot that they want on offense and settle.
Paul Zamar might have gotten away with a walk, and the crowd let the officials know about it. Paul Zamar, he does most of his damage late in the fourth period with the game on the line. And that's one way to stop Sam Deguara. Strip the ball when he brings it down. Here's Keith Jensen operating inside. Jensen can't get it to go. Deguara with the board. Singletary. This is going to be a good matchup between him and Shane Edwards. They've never gone up against each other before, according to both gentlemen. So this is going to be a treat for all our ABL fans. Deguara and Brian Williams, he's going to have, as you mentioned, TK, he's going to have his hands full trying to guard this 7'5" behemoth.
Yeah, and the effort on defense has got to come more from his teammates as well to hurry into that double team, triple team to get the ball out of his hands.
Singletary immediately feeds Deguara. This is early offense off a baseline inbound. How about that? And the Mono Vampires with their first lead of the game. Coming up on 7 minutes remaining here in the first. Mario Wuisang. They move it around. Mario Wuisang moving well without the ball. Gets deep in the paint. Wuisang gets creative. A good defense there by Jason Brickman.
That was interesting by the CLS Knights. They set up the offense high in the half-court situation just to open the paint for the players to play.
Mario Wuisang comes away with another steal. Beach finding a friend. And it's going to be a good layup. Coming from Brian Williams. You want to get him working early if you're Coach Copanuco. And the post up. Oh, great defense once again. Shane Edwards leading the break. It's a 3-on-2. Edwards going to the other side.
CLS Knights is just doing the right thing. That is how to counter the might of Sam Deguara in the paint. Just opening up the floor.
Here in the first period, the 7 Knights. Let's start for them. Edwards has it stripped. Singletary is going to have a solo, and he's going to conserve energy with a pleasing and slam dunk.
And that just drains out the energy from the CLS Knights.
Right.
They're gaining momentum, and Singletary just swipes it away.
Hard to believe he has a double this season. He's come close twice. Missed by 2 assists on both occasions. Most recently against the Saigon. Here today with 5:49 to play in the first. Lead still belongs to the CLS Knights in Asia.
Douglas Marty is a bit patient there. Shane Edwards, once he gets on fire, you just got to find a way to stop him.
Edwards is pretty sure saw action with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA. Here's the number. Jason Brickman. The boards off and running once again. The Knights. That is thrown away.
And it's opportunities like that going up against the Mono Vampires that you cannot waste. Fast break opportunities, 3-on-2 situations, got to take it straight to the defense and get those points early.
Crowd still applauding the effort. Singletary. You mentioned when he made it to the starting lineup. Things changed for the Mono Vampires. Good defense. You want Sam Deguara to take those guys shots. There's Brian Williams. Just rip the entire roll. That is what he does.
You can see Coach Deguara focusing on getting out on transition as well to counter that size disadvantage that they have.
They need to pick up 4 more fouls from Deguara. Sam Deguara has no backup on his team. There's nobody close to even being his size on that bench for Mono Vampire.
Well, that's true, but Coach Douglas Martin still has Taylor he's an inside presence that can work out well and a change of tempo to the game.
It's now a 6-point lead for the CLS Knights. Deguara. Jason Brickman and away from the ball. We're going to have a foul call. This is going to be on Brian Williams and another whistle saying warning on the Indonesian side.
But on that possession there, Sam Deguara was just going straight at Brian Williams in the paint, backing him down. Williams probably felt that was a bit too physical and retaliated a bit too much for the referee's liking, and he's going to have to take a seat.
Well, this is going to be the cue for Firman Nugroho to check into the game for the first time. Of course, a member of the Indonesian national team as well. We're going to have to play here in the first. Still 12-6. This is exactly what CLS Knights wants to do as well. So you can keep it low scoring. Inside they go. Deguara tries again. Deguara has come up empty on his past couple of trips. Freddie Leash in the open court. Freddie Leash pulls the trigger and scores. Still no flinching coming from the Mono Vampires coaching staff. Singletary. Watch the baseline. And no whistle that time. Mono Vampires keep the ball with 10 seconds to shoot, and here comes the bench.
Just great defensive effort here by the CLS Knights. They're just going pound for pound against Sam Deguara, just stopping everyone who's driving inside, packing up the paint, just making it difficult for the Mono Vampires to get the shots they want.
So they go small right now. Edwards behind the back. And he will get to the free throw line. You gotta give it to the CLS Knights Indonesia. They are the aggressors early here in this game.
And that was this is something that was missing so much from the Saigon Heat game. They were not as aggressive to go out in transition, and that's what they're doing well here. That's why they have the lead.
We have a timeout on the floor. And with the 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, CLS Knights 14, Mono Vampires 6. They have been trying to go to their post option with Sam Deguara, but I believe Sam Deguara is like 1 for 10,000 so far here in the first period.
Yeah, the CLS Knights have done so well in slowing him down, making him get difficult opportunities, sometimes has his back to the basket before taking that shot. It's just great defensive and hustle effort by the CLS Knights. The fans are loving it. The fans are showing they're loving it, and the team is feeding off that energy.
Yeah, one coach actually told me before, if you're 7'5", why become 6'5"? When you bring down the ball, people try to strip you. And you got to also give credit to Shane Edwards' early offense right now. He's got 6 of their 12 points, or maybe 8 of their 12 points. But he's been doing it from the outside. And once he gets that gun calibrated early, he's going to be a headache for the opposition.
Yeah, for sure. And the Mono Vampires, they've been leaving him open. They've been trying to gamble with that. He's been struggling a bit, and now that he's getting that going, I think Douglas Marty has got to plan out how they're going to spread out and stop that as well.
So 14-6. Now we've seen the Knights go on very, very good runs to begin the game, but the question is, can they sustain it towards the end?
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's a problem that sometimes they have had. They've had great runs feeding off the energy from this crowd, but it's a problem of sustaining it and maintaining the lead until the end.
Yeah, I was actually here when they went up against the defending champions, Hong Kong Eastern, where they almost got them in regulation, and Freddie Leash almost had a game winner before the end of regulation. That's what Christian Sandhavinger just went ballistic, scoring the last 11 points of regulation.
Well, yeah, the Knights are just so good at home, and the atmosphere here, the energy, everything just supports their performance, and you're just seeing it right here, 16-6 against a very good Mono Vampire team.
This is the largest lead of the game so far for the Mono Vampires. I'll make that for the CLS Knights against the Mono Vampires. Singletary going out. Tila in the game for the first time. Gets it out to Paul Zamar. Shot clock winding down. It's at 6 seconds. Zamar finally gets his first field goal of the game.
CLS Knights were playing great man-to-man defense. They're just rotating well to get the Mono Vampires just a step ahead, but
Right.
Paul Zamra just a better shot.
Leash pulls up. Shane Edwards tries to battle inside, and the Knights will lose possession. Last touch on Edwards. And I don't think the crowd is going to agree with any call going against their Knights today. Oh, so they will change the call. It will be CLS Knights basketball with 3:04 to play. So it is still 16-8. Clock at 2. Oh, they won't get it off in time. Mario Uisan was not aware of how much time was remaining, and that's actually one of his primary responsibilities. Coach Coco Nugroho letting his team know about it.
Well, I think the confusion of who was actually in possession of the ball after that might have thrown them a bit off. Everyone was just watching and looking around at what Mario was going to do, and that ran out the shot clock.
Brickman getting it over now to Zamar. Let's see if Zamar can uncork another one. Not that time. Nugroho with the rebound. Coming up on 2.5 to play here in the first. So far, so good for the CLS Knights Indonesia. Mario Uisang escapes, fires it off the wrong foot. Almost gets it to go. That's going to stay. Oh, that's going to go to Mono Vampires. There's Radet Kumatiwa, one of the better shooters on the squad. Here's one of the most exciting players on the Mono Vampire squad. Seeing his first action of the game. Chichai Ananti, a fast break machine. Here's Brickman bringing it down. Brickman on the penetration. Gets it outside to Kumatiwa inside. Chichai, instant offense.
That was just great play by the Mono Vampires, using the CLS Knights' knowledge of Cortiwa being a shooter and just driving in, creating more space for his team to get the point.
Well, that lead is down to 6. That's the back-to-back baskets. However, a delayed pick and roll gets Firmanugo his first 2 points of the game. Here's Brickman. Brickman has yet to unleash. Nothing there. Rebound to Uisang. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first. Uisang. And Pete Jensen can't finish that one. That goes back to the orange shirts. Now we're going to have Sandy Coryawan see his first action of the game. Not used to really seeing him come off the bench, but that's what Jason Brickman does.
Both teams now just digging deep into the bench. They know it's going to be a grinded out game, and they have to make use of their roster as much as possible.
That's Super Witch Kukandin and the game for the first time. At the point guard with a minute 25 remaining. Chichai Ananti with a drive. Goes under the defensive Nugro. Follow-up, bounces out for Tino Achantachon. Into the front court right now, Coryawan. Nugro. Moving around once again, very patient offense being shown by the Indonesians. One more time around, Shane Edwards will not miss that one.
There's just so much energy from Shane Edwards here in the first quarter. 2 threes and another dunk. It's just been an energizer for the CLS Knights.
That's back to a 10-point lead now with under a minute remaining. Chichai for 3, nothing there. Brickman, Edwards, and the front court. Edwards against 3. Edwards looking for a friend. Sandy Coryawan passes up on the shot. This 3 still on the wild side. That's going to be a foul against the Knights.
But again, you just got to love what the CLS Knights are doing. Once they get the ball on defense, they just burst out in transition, looking to attack and getting that point.
That was Arif Hidayat with that 3 earlier. Coming off 118 points as Mike Secretary adds to his total. Coming off 118 points, limited to just 12 points with 25 seconds remaining in the first. Hidayat looking around. Where is the screen? There is a difference of about 4 seconds between the clocks. Oh, Hidayat has that tap out of bounds by Kukandin rather. 10 to shoot for the Knights. First line inbound goes to Hidayat once again. Straight from Edwards and away from play. There is a hold call against Indonesia.
It's just these little things, these small turnovers that might hurt the CLS Knights later in the game. They had an opportunity to hold on to a double-digit lead going into the second quarter and just failed to produce.
Well, Well, let's see if Mono Vampires can get the final. How about Chichai going all the way? And that's going to do it for the first 10 minutes of action. The lead was 10, but the energy brought off the bench by Chichai Ananti has cut this lead down to 6. It is 20-14 in favor of the CLS Knights, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Mono Vampires, of course, 14 points in the first period. That's unheard of.
But still, the swing that right there at the end of the quarter, that's the energy that the Mono Vampires want to keep on going. They're starting to get in the groove of tempo game. Mike Singletary driving straight to the basket. Chichai Ananti going straight to the basket. If I'm coaching Coco Nugroho right now, I've got to talk about my team to stop that from keeping on going in the second quarter.
Some of the highlights in the first period, of course, most of these belonging to the CLS Knights. Brian Williams with 4 points in the first, but how about Shane Edwards, the facilitator, feeding Freddie Leash, and that's a great way to get going after going scoreless in your last game.
Just getting his teammate his points to keep his confidence level up.
Shane Edwards, that's what he's actually known for, the deep ball. He hit 2 of them in that first 10 minutes of action. And Freddie Leash, you know, you get a layup to drop, a jump shot drops, anything is possible now for the Heritage import.
Freddie Leash is just a great player. Once he gets it going, he's known to be able to be an unstoppable scorer. He scored 29 points in 3 quarters alone against Thompson Kung-Fu. And if he can do that again here, the chances for the CLS Knights are good.
And again, Shane Edwards with a few highlight packages in terms of dunking in this matchup so far. So he's having an inspired game. Brian Williams, of course, sat on the bench early, picked up early foul trouble.
That's not the foul. That's the fouls that Brian Williams has got to avoid. He's got to know his role on the team, that he has to be there on the floor for his team to be able to slow down Sam Deguara. Luckily for the CLS Knights, Coach Mono Vampire, they took out Sam Deguara and that kind of lessened the blow, but Brian Williams has got to be on the tip of his toes to not pick up those small fouls.
Well, they now want to match up in terms of speed against the CLS Knights as the second period is about to get underway here at the Gor Kertajaya Gym in Surabaya, Indonesia. This is our continuing coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League. My name is Lamang Zanabe alongside TK. A little bit of a discussion here between the coaches and the referees from Mono Vampires. We are underway. Arif Hidayat and the front court. Want to get things going early. They want to get Sandy from Yawan involved early. Shane Edwards, that's going to be a call against Mono Vampires. Mike Singletary called for the kick, so that shot clock will be reset to 14. And Keith Jensen is still on the floor. He has had no rest so far today. This guy came off a bout with food poisoning just about a couple of days ago. He lost 10 pounds.
Well, he's a very important player for his team. He can play defense. He's a big body as well. And though he's scoreless in this game so far, he's also grabbed 5 rebounds. And that's his value to the team, just his size being on the court.
Hidayat looking for Jensen, and there he goes. He said he was scoreless, not anymore.
Right on cue, just setting up Jensen, getting him into the game, expanding the lead for the Knights.
23-14. Tuatiwa on the catch and shoot. No. Battle for the rebound. Singletary and Edwards cancel each other out. Chichai Ananti gets too deep. And Mike Singletary, third time around, gets the basket plus the foul.
Gotta love the defensive effort by Furman and Rojo there, but unable to get the defensive rebound. Mike Singletary just a little bit more efficient in getting the basket and putting back in.
Yeah, they're gonna call the foul on Shane Edwards, it appears. As we can see right here, that was from behind. Shane Edwards whistled for his first foul. And Brian Williams will check back in for Firman Nugro. Mike Singletary at the free throw line. It's a pretty sick averages for this young man. 19, I'll make that 26.8 points per game and 10.2 rebounds. Add to that 4.5 assists per game.
And he's a really good free throw shooter as well, 76.8%. There nails his lone attempt.
So that cancels out the Keith Jensen triple earlier, 23-17. It's back to a 6-point lead. Almost a minute gone by here in the second period. Shane Edwards. Arif Hidayat. Good pick provided by Edwards. Defense has to adjust. Jensen. Not that time. And the rebound plucked away once again by Ananti. Quick offense. And Tino Chatnachon challenged that time by Keith Jensen. Couldn't get the basket to go. Vichai on the drive. High off the glass. And the rebound picked up here by Shane Edwards. Edwards looking down floor immediately. Jensen. Uh-oh, they leave him wide open. Why would you want to do that? But he missed. Edwards with the rebound. Edwards. And finally, hard work pays off for the CLS Knights.
Right now, what's going for the CLS Knights is just their aggressiveness at attacking, getting those wide open shots, and then going aggressively for those offensive rebounds. The Mono Vampires have just got to pick up more energy on defense if they want to chip back into this game.
This is the biggest lead of the game for, I'll make that, it's an 8-point lead, 25-17. The biggest lead was at 10 points. You can see there, Chichay Ananti. The energy this guy brings off the bench is contagious. He's one of the newer additions to the Thai national team. And we did see him in action a lot of times already in the past, but Keith Jensen as well. What a great addition here for the CLS Knights.
Chichay Ananti brings energy on offense, but right now he's got to focus on staying in front of Keith Jensen, not allowing him to be that wide open for those three-point shots, because as we can see, he can make them.
I was talking to Shane Edwards before the game, and he's so happy to have Keith Jensen, who's a natural three as well as him, but Keith Jensen plays a stretch four when he used to play in the Philippine Basketball Association. So
and that gives more dimension for Coach Coco as well. As mentioned, both players can play the 3 and the 4, and to have the opportunity to be able to switch between those two to get one of them going or something like that. This is something that you really want for players on your team.
Shane Edwards. Actually, Nugroho is back in the game. Brian Williamson stayed there too long, so they want this fast unit on the floor. Coco Nugroho wants this fast unit on the floor. We have Chanachon Plahan seeing his first action of the game. Here's another veteran of the ASEAN Basketball League from way back. Zamar comes it over to Ananti, who immediately attacks. Gets a side forward that time. Rebound picked up by Kumyawan. Mario Huisak back in the game. Huisak. There's the clock on Freddie Leash. Freddie Leash has been unleashed here, TK.
And he's just so great in the fast break. He's just a good finisher, has great handles, and these 10 fast break points that the CLS Knights have just have them ahead of the Vampires.
17 right now. And Mike Singletary has an answer for every CLS Knights run. So he cuts the lead down to 8 once again. Huisang working against Zamar, or working against Jason Brickman, who's back in the game. Huisang moving around to Sandy Kumyawan. He had an open shot, wants to move a bit, comes up short. And Sandy Guaro's back in the game, gets the rebound. Lahan. Well, Chanachon Plahan has developed this shot over the years, but he misses that one.
And the CLS Knights are going to let him shoot that until he gets comfortable.
Yep. Almost a steal. And that's going to go out of bounds. It will stay with the Knights. 18 to shoot. And here it comes. Pirong Vilay Chai, giving Shane Edwards a bit of a, I'll make that, sub coming in. I believe it's from Mike Singletary. Let's see if the lineup changes. No, it's not for Mike Singletary. So there's a shuffle for both squads. It is Shane Edwards who takes a seat. Brian Williams comes back with the ball. Freddie Leash gets that one to go. And he keeps trying inside. Iguana nowhere near, but he gets the rebound. Singletary, straightaway 3. Good.
Singletary's just so great at those straightaway three-point shooters. That's one of his trademarks already, and Jason Brickman just knows exactly how to set him up for those shots.
27 to 22. Lead is down to 5. From a high of 10. Williams on the pick and roll. They're moving around now. Here's Leash. Leash! Everything but the basket that time. And another fast break starring Mike Singletary. It is down to 3. And a quick timeout called by Coco Nugroho. And that's what Mono Vampire can do. You know, they probably be down by 10, probably be down by 12. Probably be down by 10, probably be down by 12, but then suddenly they come away with this kind of a major run.
And that's the thing. That's the kind of potential that the Mono Vampires have. They're such a great team. On offense, they can burst out on the fast break. They can make three-point shots, as you saw there from Mike Singletary, in 2 straight offensive possessions. The CLS Knights have just got to lock it down on defense.
Jay Edwards continues to be the tireless worker. However, he is on the bench right now. Freddie Leash gets a little creative in that last drive, but now with Freddie Leash finally getting his groove back on offense, they got to find him a lot.
For sure, Freddie is just a guy that needs the ball in his hands to stay productive, and Mario Wu-Sang has just got to figure out a way how to balance that between getting Shane Edwards the ball, getting Ryan Williams the ball, getting Freddie Leash the ball. But that's something that he's so good at doing, and that's why he has such a long career in professional basketball.
Of course, one of the pioneers of the ASEAN Basketball League, Mario Wu-Sang, 38 years old, doesn't look a day over 30.
Just dedicates so much in keeping himself in shape, and he says that it's a mindset that he has that keeps himself focused and competitive all the time.
Let's see what the response of the CLS Knights will be coming off this timeout. Their lead has been trimmed down to 3. Freddie Leash. They want to get it around to a high percentage shot, and that's exactly what they tried to get that time from Jason, make that from Keith Jensen. It won't work. Here's Jason Brickman. Singletary, another straightaway 3. This time comes up short. Now go back to the CLS Knights.
That was a smart play there by Jason Brickman, just using Sam DeGuara as a screen, driving right through, having Mike Singletary slip a bit, get open for the 3. Unfortunately, doesn't go down.
Wu-Sang breaks the trap all by himself. Brian Williams, butterfingers that time, tries to keep it alive. Wu-Sang has it. Wu-Sang for 3. Battle for the rebound. Brian Williams keeps it alive. There's that running shot. It doesn't work again for Firma Nugro, who's been very offensive-minded today. Brickman trying to break down the defense. Brickman, he's in the paint already. Up in Vilay-Chai, throws it away. Keith Jensen in the open floor. Jensen can't get it to go. Now we are going the other way with Brickman. Brickman over to Singletary. Great defense by Brian Williams. Going the other way, Wu-Sang will wait. Santaguara never went down on offense. It's the jumper that's going to miss. I mean, Keith Jensen has been jacking up a lot of shots here in the second, TK.
The pace has just been so crazy. Teams going back up and forth. Not quite getting the shots that they want, but it's going to end soon.
Well, that scoreboard has not moved since our last timeout. It's still 27-24. Freddie Leash has it. Can't call timeout. And I believe a foul is going to be called. A foul is called.
Coaching staff and the fans are loving it. Freddie Leash just diving at the floor, sacrificing his body to keep the possession with the CLS Knights. That's something that energizes everyone and keeps them in the pace.
That looked like a Dave Cowens drive from Dave Cowens dive rather from way back. And that's the kind of spread that he has. You need 2 mop men to clean up the area. But Freddie Leash just slid to protect the ball. So that will only be a foul against Mono Vampire. And they are working to keep this floor as dry as possible. Keith Jensen has had no rest in this game. The 2 world imports have actually sat down already. Keith Jensen, no such thing.
He's just trying to balance it out on the perimeter. He's just so good on defense, and he can bring something on offense as well.
Wu-Sang leaves Brickman. Can't get that one to go. Brian Williams has that tapped away. It will stay with the Knights.
It's interesting to see that both teams are now seemingly settled in the zone type of defense. Sam DeGuara smack in the middle. On the other end, it's Brian Williams. It's just teams trying to negate their long-range shooting.
That's one way to get DeGuara out of the game. Get him to pick up a lot of fouls. Shane Edwards knowing exactly what to do against big men. You know, when he played in the NBA, there were 7-footers all around him.
He's just found a way to play against them. Sam Deguara is not something that he hasn't played against.
Yeah.
Just trying to negate that height.
I don't know if he made it when Yao Ming was still around. I don't know if he was in the NBA. He was in the NBA, what is this, 2013, 2014. And Shane Edwards at the free throw line. He's still getting calls to play in the Philippines again. He shared with me one of the teams have actually been speaking to him. Just yesterday, one of the head coaches of one of the teams in the Philippines has been talking to him to be a reinforcement in the PBA's upcoming Commissioner's Cup, which is in the second conference.
Yeah, and at the level of production that he's been producing, 13 points, 8 rebounds, that's something that can pretty much translate to any league.
He's at double figures today. He's been on a sick tear, but in regards to scoring, he finally makes the scoreboard move. It's 25 to 24, and again, a low-scoring game favors the CLS Knights. Deguara gets away from everybody. Goodbye. It's so simple.
On defense there, Brian Williams probably gambled a bit too much trying to get the steal, but the other players on the perimeter have got to figure out to double team Sam Deguara quicker. It's just too easy once he gets the ball that close.
Three-pointer is a miss. Coming from Freddie Leash. 3 of 22 to play here in the second. Deguara has this. He's got to shoot it from 65 feet with one hand. Into the front court, the Knights. Oh, nice drop pass, Jensen. Late defense coming from Deguara, gets that away. Jensen in the front court. Darumpan up Ron Vilaychay with a layup.
The Vampires just make them pay there. It's only a 1-point game now. CLS Knights have got to figure out how to get the offense back into the groove that they had in the first quarter.
Well, they are losing a grip on this lead, and nothing really special being done here by Mono Vampires. They're just executing, especially on the transition. And you can see the veteran, this is 34-year-old Darumpana Piron Vilaychay. He still has those hops.
But a lot of credit has to be given there to Jason Brickman.
Oh, yeah.
Saw straight through the defense, saw the rim punch streaking on the way, feeding him where he's used to getting it. That's an easy finish for the rim punch.
And you can see here the crowd that has assembled at the Kemptajaya gym here in Surabaya. Now, Jason Brickman has had an ABL championship already in the past, playing for the West Sports Malaysia Dragons alongside Matthew Wright.
Yeah, Jason Brickman is such a prolific player. He's had success everywhere he goes. He's one of the leading assist makers in the NCAA Division I. Everywhere he goes, he just sets records, making history, and he hopes to do so here again with the Mono Vampires this season.
That's our hashtag, Make History. This is the ASEAN Basketball League. And for Mono Vampires, after a 1-year hiatus, coming back, they are playoff bound as we speak. But can they actually string it together, beat Cheongsam twice, beat Hong Kong, and beat Malaysia in their last game? They do that, they really should be the number 2 or even the number 1 team in the league.
Yeah, but before that, they got to start out in beating this team here. They're
You're
still
right,
down by
you're right. Buisang. Brian Williams playing the long court as usual. Nice break by Freddie Leash, breaking the ankles of Sam Deguara.
Freddie Leash just had no fear going straight at Deguara. Decided to use speed to go around him.
He made Deguara look like a lifeless tree on that drive. Brian Williams fighting hard, and he will be fouled by Darumpana Piron Vilaychay.
Just great fight there by Brian Williams to get the rebound and hold on to it. And even more than that, draw another foul in the Mono Vampire basketball.
Of course, Brian Williams coming into this game averaging 17.3 points and 15.5 rebounds a game, one of the tops in the league.
More than that, he's also averaging 4.3 assists per game, just an underrated facet of the game.
Williams, Edwards passed up on the drive earlier. Edwards working on the Brian Williams screen. Williams gets it in the high post. Deguara following him. Shane for 3, and he misses that one. Saved by Jensen, but it goes to the wrong guy. Jason Brickman now, the fire starter for the Mono Vampires. Brickman gets into the paint. They move it around right now. Paul Zamar and Deguara. And Misses again. Deguara gets the follow-up. Brian Williams needs help down there.
Brian Williams frustrated, just unable to do anything, giving up almost half a foot to Sam Deguara.
Knights still on top, however. Freddie Leach has had a great game so far on offense and on defense as well. Leach heard the whistle and passed it off. Could have had free throws there. They will call this one on the Mono Vampires. So Chicha Yananti checks back in. Arif Hidayat will also give Mario Wusa a bit of a breather with a minute 26 remaining here in the first half. Neither team in the penalty, although that is the fourth team foul for the Mono Vampires. Only one for the CLS Knights Indonesia. Arif Hidayat. Again, they want to get Freddie Leach some kind of momentum. Leach from 20. Yes! So Freddie Leach ups the lead to 3 once again. 33-30. Mono Vampires in a low-scoring game. This could spell trouble for them. Chicha Yananti can't get it to drop, and Paul Zamar tracks it down. Zamar gets it over now to Jason Brickman. Brickman finds Ananti. Ananti on the run. And Chicha has been rushing his shots with no defense in front of him. Nice no-look by Brian Williams to Shane Edwards for the slam.
What a pass there by Brian Williams. He absorbed the contact, threw it straight ahead to Edwards. An emphatic slam to please the crowd.
With 43.9 to play here in the first half, the crowd is back in it. Look at this Magic Johnson-like pass from Brian Williams, and Shane Edwards with his third slam of the game.
Again, as we mentioned, Brian Williams is such a great passer, so underrated in that facet, and after this, we hope no one underrates him anymore.
Well, Brian Williams and Shane Edwards hooking up on that one. That lead is up to 5 once again, but let's talk more about the lack of execution offensively. If your name is not Mike Singletary, there really hasn't been any form of consistent production from the Mono Vampires.
But you gotta give credit to the CLS Knights defense.
You're absolutely right.
They have done such a good job on Sam Deguara. He has only 6 points. He shot only 3 from 8, which are way below his usual numbers. Just great defense by the Knights coming in this first half.
And of course, Jason Brickman has been more than happy just facilitating. Paul Zamar really hasn't found his range yet. It has been Chicha Yananti who has been the spark off the bench. Now imagine if Chicha hadn't exploded, this would have even been a bigger blowout.
Yeah, and that's what the Mono Vampire are missing dearly, the perimeter offense. Paul Zamar has been Jason Brickman hasn't got his groove going. As you mentioned, it's just been Mike Singletary right now, and he needs help fast.
And Mike Singletary has been quiet over this stretch where the Knights have come away with back-to-back baskets. So 35-30, the timeout is over. That is actually the last timeout of our first half. Brickman looking at this 2-3 zone once again. Singletary. This 2-3 zone has been stifling the inside, and Tito Machata-Chon couldn't hang on to it.
It's great defense. Mono Vampire just unable to figure out what to do to try driving in. The Knights have done good in collapsing just to suffocate the ball out in the middle and get the turnover.
And again, if you are playing a zone and you're up against the zone and you can't get that outside shot to drop, you're going to have a problem. Arif Hidayat. The clocks are separated by about 8 seconds here in the first half. And the post will go, Brian Williams. Williams working against Tito Machata-Chon. That's no match.
Such a great set play run there, getting the screens at the bottom for the wings, leaving so much space left down low for Brian Williams to operate, and he pays them with 2 points.
Straightaway 3, Mike Singletary, not this time. Freddie Leach at the buzzer. Oh! That would have made the entire city of Surabaya come to the ground. At the end of the first 20 minutes of action, the CLS Knights have opened up a 7-point lead, and the Mono Vampires were scoreless over the last 3 minutes of that first half.
Just a great run there by the CLS Knights, the defensive effort going out in transition. That's why they're in the lead, and that's just setting up the tempo coming into the second half.
Again, they're coming off a win, a 118-113 win against the Saigon Heat. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that recently concluded first half. Jason Brickman hardly had any rest in that first half. Provided a few productions here and there, but it's actually been more of the defense that has been the factor.
The CLS Knights, phenomenal job on defense right now. Just not letting the Mono Vampires play the way they want to.
Of course, for Mono Vampires, it has been the Mike Singletary show. He is the leading scorer of the squad as expected, but where's the support? Jason Brickman has been very busy doing the facilitating for his squad, and he hasn't even thought of his offense yet. And of course, Sam DeGuara, every now and then you're going to have one of those, 1-foot dunk?
Yeah, but just because the Knights have done good on defense, and that's why Sam DeGuara has only had one of those dunks so far in this game. And it's just going to be interesting to see if they can continue this kind of defense in the second half.
How about the unleashed one? Freddie Leash in that first half went bananas.
Yeah, after going scoreless in the last game, suddenly now he has 10 points, coming off a pretty efficient 50% shooting, just something that Coach Coco Lugongo definitely wants to see after an uninspiring game last time.
We have 37-30 at the half. The CLS Knights so far doing a good job in trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. You want to keep it low scoring, and our halftime stats tell that story.
Well, the stats you see here, the rebounds, the CLS Knights, they're pretty in par with the Mono Vampires, but the thing is that the assists, they've been sharing the ball well, they've been exploding out on the fast breaks well. That's where they're getting their offense from, and that's where they have their lead.
And that's why they're playing a zone. Look at that, 1 of 13 from beyond the arc for the Mono Vampires. That lone conversion coming from a straightaway three from Mike Singletary.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic from the Mono Vampires. And that's just something that they've got to continue to improve in the second half.
While we are at the half, we will take this break. This is our continuing coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League live right here in Surabaya, Indonesia. 30 in favor of the home team, the CLS Knights, over the visiting Mono Vampires. The ones out of the still alongside the TK, and we have a special interview. Keely has caught up with Shane Edwards. Let's hear this interview.
Positive adjustment to it. How did you do it? Could you tell us how?
I mean, I just try to come in and bring energy. You know, the guys around me, they really help. You know, they welcome me with open arms, and I just think that was the adjustment, and you know, hopefully we can keep it going.
All right. So, do you find it easy in practice to adjust for the team well? Talk to them maybe after practice.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, we got a lot of good guys in the locker room. Everybody gets along with everyone, so it's been a very easy adjustment for me.
Could you tell us the difference between this game and last game?
I think this game we just came out from the jump with a lot more energy. You know, we came out with a mindset that we were going to come out and you know, jump on them first instead of, you know, getting on our heels. And I think when we do that, we're pretty tough to beat.
All right. So good luck for you and the team, and we hope to see you guys win.
All right, thanks.
Shane.
First half, or our 17-year-old Keely doing the interviews for us at the half. And of course, you know, Shane Edwards, monster performance. You know he can sustain it. Now the question is, can the defense sustain it for the CLS Knights?
Well, so far they've done a really good job, and you have to be optimistic about them being able to keep it going like this, going into the second half. Just a great job done by them, holding the Mono Vampires to only 30 points in the first half. The Mono Vampires are averaging 100 points per game.
Oh, wow.
And they're keeping that down to only 30 here. That's just a great job by the CLS Knights. They just got to keep doing what they're doing.
Mono Vampires, the #1 offensive team in the league, #1 in terms of percentages. Those percentages have dropped considerably because of this zone defense. Now, we all know you play zone defense, you got to get that outside shooting to work. Otherwise, you need to find those seams inside. That hasn't been the case so far for the Mono Vampires.
And they just got to keep the thing for the Mono Vampires to get them going into the second half now is to get their outside shot going. As we mentioned before that break, shooting only 1 of 13 from downtown. They have more than enough potential as outside shooters to bring that number up, and that's going to be something that Coach Douglas Marty has got to focus on, getting his players going.
We saw very little of Sam DeGuara in that first half. He did score 6 points, but you mentioned 3 of 8 shooting. He did not even visit the free throw line. Even had to jack up a 3 at one point just to try and break that zone. What needs to change now for Sam DeGuara to become more effective here for the Mono Vampires?
Well, the three-point shooting, again, once you get that going, the defense of the CLS Knights, they have to spread out. Once they spread out, Sam DeGuara has an easier way to get the ball, easier way to score in the basket and get that going as well.
Well, you know, the Chung Sun Kung Fu, the scouts are watching this game. They're up on the menu next against the Mono Vampires. And what they're seeing here right now, you would talk about that matchup in future tense already right now. Mono Vampires against the Chung Sun Kung Fu. That happens, of course, in a couple of weeks. What is going to be the mindset now of Chongsun, seeing, hey, if we play zone on these guys, they have a hard time?
Yeah, but Chongsun is coming in with the upper hand here. They have the better record. They have the rest. They have, as you mentioned, their scouting report coming into this game. They're seeing what is effective against the Mono Vampires, and they're going to learn a lot from that. Justin Howard's got to look at what Brian Williams has been doing well against Sam DeGuara, the other players, perimeter defense, local guys. They've got to figure out how to quickly clamp on Sam DeGuara down in the paint, and also negating the perimeter shooting as well.
Now, I'm not familiar with the schedule for the CLS Knights, but I'm pretty sure that things don't get easy for them from this point on.
Well, for sure, they have big games against Singapore Slingers. They have big game, another big game against the Saigon Heat. That's going to be one that will really dictate their future of the playoff hopes. And closing out for the season for them is 2 big away games against San Miguel a la Pilipinas. That's the task for them that they have to get through.
Well, of course, before we begin this second half, a la Pilipinas, San Miguel a la Pilipinas has been on a tear recently, TK, winning 8 straight games. And you can't just say it's a combination of Ronaldo Bachman and Justin Brownlee. It's been a whole total team effort for the team from the Philippines.
Yeah, since the New Year's break, they only lost 1 game to the Singapore Slingers. Since then, it's just been domination. And it's not only their imports, the locals are stepping up. Bobby Ray Parks has suddenly found his way to be productive on both sides of the floor and combining with the imports. Josh Urbasano has been solid from the start shooting. Rico Meyerhofer has been solid in the paint. Jimmy Alabak has just done a great job in combining all of these pieces, turning it into such a formidable team.
And we haven't even talked about the defending champions, Hong Kong Eastern. You know, when they did lose those 2 games against Saigon Heat, they spanked every opponent after that.
Well, yeah, Hong Kong Eastern, they've done a good job of continuing their dominance, keeping the players they have had. Marcus Elliott, Kyle Lamb, they've been producing at the same level that they were last year. Put in Christian Stenhardinger, who's just been phenomenal, doing everything, just doing the little things, not even having an offensive run for him. And that's just something that it seems like they're going to keep on being able to do in the playoffs.
It's going to be a dog race for that semifinal slot. Of course, we can always say that Hong Kong Eastern's going to be in there, Chongsan Kung Fu's going to be there. The way San Miguel Ala Pilipinas has been playing, they can also get in there. But how about Mono? They need to show right now that they deserve to be in the conversation for that outright semifinal slot.
Exactly, and they were doing such a good job coming into this game. They were showing how high their ceiling was, their offensive potential, their defense with Sam Deguara in the middle. They've been doing such a good job, but right now in the first half, they've been showing so much vulnerability that once you get in the playoffs, I think teams like San Miguel Ala Pilipinas, Hong Kong Eastern, and Chongsan, they're going to look at that and say, hey, we have a lot of opportunity, we have a lot of weaknesses that we can attack this team, and it's going to be up to the second half where Mono Vampires are going to have to cover up those weaknesses and figure it out.
Well, again, we haven't even talked about the Singapore Slingers and the Saigon Heat. You know, these 2 teams are still pretty much in the mix, but we are now starting our 3rd period in this one, 37-30. Mono Vampires, averaging 100 points a game, are on pace for 60 in this one. So we will begin this 3rd period. Ball possession belonging to the visitors. Again, down by 7 at the half. Hasn't really been much of a factor other than Mike Singletary on the team. Here's Paul Zamar, and he knocks that down from about 15 feet.
That's a great start for the Mono Vampire, getting Paul Zamar, seeing the ball go through the basket. That's going to set up the tempo for his offense.
I want to see his former college teammate come off the bench for the CLS Knights and them guard each other. You know, B-Boy Angio and Paul Zamar went to the same school in the Philippines, the University of the East. They're not really classmates, but, you know, it'd be nice to see them guard each other. But Freddie Leach is really tearing it up today. He's got 12 in the game.
Probably got a lot bottled up there after last game, unleashing it out today.
Apirong Vilay Chai can't get that to go, and that's going to be last touch on Deguara. So still no change in terms of energy output being shown here by the Mono Vampires. And Brian Williams will always have something to say to the officials, whether or not the call favors the CLS Knights. Mario Huisang himself has been quiet here today, coming off that 20-point performance. Oh, Huisang gets away though. Gets it out to Brian Williams. Doesn't want a line drive with another 3. Gets it out to Keith Jensen. Great ball movement for the Knights.
Just great unselfishness. Mario Huisang had a lane. He kicked it out to Williams. Williams kicks out again. 3 points for the Knights.
Runner won't go. There is still no answer coming from the Mono Vampires. And Shane Edwards comes away from the back. Huisang in transition. That is good. This is now the largest lead of the game for the CLS Knights Indonesia. 12 points, 44-32. Samar can't answer. 1 and done for 3 possessions for the Mono Vampires. And a little bit out of control that time.
But everything before that has just been the perfect start for the CLS Knights. They've just been doing everything perfectly on offense, sharing the ball, finding the right guys. They just have to maintain this defense on the side of the court.
And during the halftime break, when Keeley talked to Shane Edwards, you can see his disposition. He was so cool. As Paul Zamar rings the bell once again, he's been the only bright spot so far here in the 3rd for the Mono Vampires. 7:45 to play here in the 3rd. Huisang operating against the taller Apirong Vilay Chai. You got 2 ABL pioneers going at it, and Huisang knocks it down again.
You were mentioning Mario Huisang had a quiet game. He's come to life here in the second half.
Singletary has not had a single touch on offense so far here in the third. Zamar swings it over to the other side. Three-pointer is a miss. Mono is throwing up blanks at this point. Leash. And that is taken away by the defense. Brickman gets it outside. Zamar starting to warm up. Paul Zamar with his first triple of the game, and that cuts the lead down to 10. Wisang. Knights 47, Vampires 37. Jensen sees an opening. This is his favorite shot. It's a pull-up from the free throw line. This is headed to go. Down goes Williams. And stay right here, says our official. We're going to have a foul call, and Brian Williams has to be restrained. Williams looks like he got hit in the face. Is he bleeding from the face? Wanted to charge at that official. Brian Williams, is he okay? They hand him a towel here, TK. Looks like he did get hit in the face. It's either that or his face collided with the floor.
Still, he was able to draw a foul, and it should be 2 attempts at the free throw line. We'll see what the referees call, or if it's going to be...
he's on his way to the locker room. Brian Williams is on his way to the locker room. That is the cue now for Mono Vampires to go small with the return of Tino Wachatachon.
That's going to be a huge turn of advantage with the momentum slowly swinging back to the Mono Vampires after those baskets. It's going to be up to Shane Edwards and company to just keep their momentum going.
Boyzano looks like he's up to the challenge, working against Brickman. That's a nice screen, pick and roll action. Here's Shane Edwards with a left hand and a foul on Tino Wachatachon.
Great two-man game there by Mario Wisang and Shane Edwards. They had to go aggressive after that stoppage, and Shane Edwards is taking it straight to the basket and getting 2 points and the foul.
Mono needs this timeout. Shane Edwards with surgical precision on the pick and roll. And the lead is back up to 12 points, 49 to 37. And it has been a roller coaster of sorts for the offense. Now, it's a good thing Paul Zamar is starting to pick it up for the Mono Vampires, but still no sign of Jason Brickman. No touches on offense for Mike Singletary here in the third.
It's just been a weird offensive game for the Mono Vampires. It just seems like their first trip to Gorgon, the Jaya here, has thrown them off their offensive tempo, and that's exactly the home court advantage that you would want for the CLS Knights.
Well, again, this is a very warm gym, to say the least. There are air conditioning units on the floor, but where we are right now, we have to rely on electric fans to keep us warm. But Paul Zamar has found his range here so far. He's got 7 in the quarter. He's actually got all 7 points so far for Mono. Look at Freddie Leash. His stroke is back. 47-37, CLS Knights need this win to keep their hopes alive. They still have a lot of games left, but they need to start winning now. After this, they have 5 more games remaining. Some of them here at home, which is a good thing. And Shane Edwards, what an addition he's been for the CLS Knights.
Shane Edwards already on his way to a double-double as he continues to ring that up in the league.
Well, knocks down the free throw there. He's the league lead, he's the team high or the game high scorer, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, at this point he's already close to 20 points, and no one has even close right now.
Paul Zamar. That's a miss, and going inside, Tino Wachatachon will have to earn it from the free throw line. This is another kid that came off the juniors program of Thailand. You know a lot about him.
Yeah, Tino Wachatachon, he was a young addition to the national team since the SEA Games in 2015, and he's just made great strides from being a young guy who could barely make a layup back then. Now he's almost the face of the Thailand national team. He's done such a great job in this ABL season, finishing down low, being a rim protector, rebounding the ball. He's just got so much future for him, for the Mono Vampires, and for Thailand. just great to see the local talent develop here in the Asahin Basketball League.
Missed the first free throw though, but at 6'5" with a body like that, boy, the sky's the limit for this kid.
Just for sure, the athleticism and his mindset is really focused on being a really good player. That's one thing that's just pushed him so far.
Chantachon misses 2. Definitely the Surabaya crowd is starting to get to him. 13 points, the largest lead of the game for the Knights. Oh, nice cut by Edwards, and there he goes again!
Mario Wuisang connecting with another two-man game with Shane Edwards. That has been one of the most efficient set plays in this game. They're just going to keep on going until the Mono Vampires force them to change.
This lead continues to grow, but that is trimmed a bit on that layup by Mike Singletary. His first touch on offense in the third. Lead is down to 13, 52 to 39. Freddie Leach gets it outside. Jensen has it stripped. Great defense that time by the Mono Vampires, and here they come. Singletary in the front court. Singletary gets it out. They know Zamar is starting to warm up. Brickman wants to settle everybody down. Shot clock at 12. Zamar left open. And Paul Zamar with 2 triples here in the third.
Paul Zamar just waiting in the open wing. Jason Brickman, easy pass. Another 3 points for the Mono Vampire to get back into the game.
Coco Nugroho will call a timeout just to stop a bit of the momentum. But what a pass earlier from Mario Wuisang. That's got to make the top 5 plays of the week, TK. Look at this. Just flip it over everybody, find Shane Edwards, and the rest is, as they say, history.
Just great chemistry between the two players, and they've shown time and again since Shane Edwards made to this team that this is a combination that the league has got to watch out.
Now this timeout can send alarm bells now for the Indonesian squad, because now they're getting points from everywhere. Paul Zamar, 10 points here in the third period alone. This guy was a dead shot back in the Philippines. Never quite made it to the PBA, but with his performance here in the ABL, who knows?
Yeah, Paul Zamar's story is just the kind of story that just inspires everyone to know that you don't have to start off with a bang. You just have to find that perfect opportunity, that perfect setting that just lets you shine and lets you express your abilities in the best possible way.
Well, Paul Zamar from the Philippines, of course, his father was a college hero as well. Way back when, his father is now a coach, one of the assistant coaches of the San Miguel Beermen in the PBA. We're talking about Boise Zamar. And I was talking to Coach Boise on several occasions. He's very proud of what his son has accomplished so far in his very short professional career. And he is really tearing it up here for the Mono Vampires. In fact, I was talking to Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary was saying we wouldn't be where we were. We wouldn't be where we are right now without Paul Zamar.
Zamar's just doing so much on offense. 16 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He's just doing a little bit of everything for the Mono Vampire.
And he is keeping the Thai team afloat here in the third. Down by 10. Largest at 15. Wuisang again! Mario Wuisang has caught fire as well here, TK.
Just counteracting Paul Zamar.
As Jason Brickman finally making some noise.
Right now, they're just trading shots back and forth, and once the offensive game gets going, Mono Vampires getting into the rhythm. The CLS Knights have got to watch out.
Edwards hasn't really been looking for that 3-point shot. He loves running the pick and roll right now. Pass. Oh, nice steal coming from Tino Chantachon against Freddie Leach. Brickman into the front court. Singletary tries to evade everybody. Drops it inside. They go to Zamar once again, and Paul Zamar is unconscious from deep.
Right there, you got to credit Jason Brickman. Once again, he was right there in the teeth of the paint. The recognition to notice that Paul Zamar was out there wide open just shows how good of a floor general Jason Brickman is.
Paul Zamar so happy to play off the ball. He played point guard a lot in the Philippines. Now gravitating to his natural position as a shooting guard. Keith Jensen, not that time. Now for the rebound, Mono Vampires have it. Into the front court, we got 2 guys on Singletary. Wuisang is holding the ball, saying he got the strip. They're going to call the foul on Wuisang, but Singletary is looking for free throws. They're not going to give it to him. Now here's a guy who needs to continue his hot streak. Sandy Corniawan, as we take a look at this play once again, there's the strip, and they say it was on the ground. So with Corniawan in, let's see if it continues to rain threes, this time on the side of the CLS Knights. Inside incursion almost, but not quite. There will be 2 free throws awarded, however.
And this is such a crucial stretch here for the CLS Knights. They had a huge lead. Suddenly, Paul Zarma lighting it up. They've got to stay composed and stay calm. They still have an 8-point lead. Just got to lock it down on defense and get the offense going again.
Singletary's numbers have been consistent in points in this game, but the rebounds, only 4. Not really there yet. So from being down 15 to down 7 right now. And one more time around. That was a little too wild. Coming from Jason Brickman. 3 and 20 to play in the third. Woisang trying to dance with Brickman. Keith Jensen wants the baseline. Gets it out to Mario Woisang on the catch and shoot 3. Not that time again. Brickman leading the break. Too many white shirts there. Brickman pulls it back. Not this kid. It's a miss from the outside. And Kuatiwa, he's another missing link so far for the Mono Vampire.
Yeah, Cortiwa is such a great shooter. He hasn't been expressing that much in this game. Coach Doug Marty wants that asset in the rotation of the Mono Vampire offense. It's just not been clicking there.
Corniawan getting it over now to Woisang. Woisang in the post. That's going to be a reach in any league. Called on Jason Brickman. That'll only be team foul number 3 for Mono, though.
Right now, CLS Knights are missing Brian Williams so much. Tirwa Tanajan and Singletary are just roaming the boards, just gobbling everything up, and that's just really changed the pace of this game back into the tempo.
Well, we do have a new player in right now for the Indonesians, and that is going to be off the leg. 14 to shoot. They say kick ball against Mono.
As you were mentioning, making his first appearance in the game is Gemi Line.
Yeah.
He was recently on the Indonesian national team in the pre-Asian game tournament.
Corniawan getting it over now to Woisang. Woisang on the floater. Yes!
Big basket there by Mario Woisang, just to slow down the tempo for the Vampire.
And if Paul Zamar is starting to heat up, Mario Woisang doing the same, but Jason Brickman now joins the party.
It's been an offensive onslaught here in the second half. Mono Vampires just starting to click.
And the CLS Knights had better be careful. This is the pace that Mono wants to play in. They've already scored 21 points here in this third period after scoring only 30 the entire first half. One and done once again. Brickman pulls the brakes. And this layup is going to drop once again. Mike Singletary cuts it down to 4. It was 15, TK, just a few moments ago. Here's Sandy Corniawan. Getting into the post. Shane Edwards with the left hand. No, again. Great defense by Tino Achatachuan, and here come Mono Vampire. Brickman pulls up. And Sandy Corniawan plucks it out of the air with 1 minute and 15 remaining here in the third. And another steal by Jason Brickman. Brickman, unselfish, probably a little too unselfish for Mono. They had an easy layup from Kuatiwa, who passed it up to Singletary, who will now have to troop to the free throw line.
But this run by the Mono Vampire has just been fueled by their defensive effort on the other end. They've been doing so well in that zone defense, just stopping that two-man game between Shane Edwards and Mario Woisang, and that's what's been slowing down the CLS Knights.
Singletary with a chance to bring it to a single possession. No pun intended. It is now a single possession lead for the Knights. 57 to 54. Mike Singletary. Consistent. 57-55. All of a sudden, it's as if the CLS Knights have hit a flat tire. From Yawan. Has it poked away again. Samar in the front court. A chance to tie or take the lead. That is batted out. It stays with the ties.
But the CLS Knights just keep trying to attack that 2-3 zone of the Mono Vampires the same way, just trying to drive right through, and Paul Zamar is just too quick hands for the opposing team to do that. He's going to poke it away every time.
Singletary gives Mono Vampire their first lead since 3-2. 27 seconds remaining. Here in the third. Still no answer. Samar Brickman slowing things down. Shot clock has been turned off. 10 seconds remaining in the third. Brickman on the drive. Nice pass. Tiro Machatachon.
What a play by Jason Brickman, just going all the way. The CLS Knights defense clamped on him. Tiro Machatachon wide open.
It is a 60-57 lead for Mono Vampires after falling behind by 15 points in the very same third period. They completely dominated in the final 4 minutes, TK.
It was just the adjustments that the teams made halfway through the third quarter. I just feel that Douglas Marty just reacted better to the tempo that was going on in the game, and that's why they were able to make the run to close out the third quarter.
And you're right about Brian Williams' absence becoming a big factor. The outside shooting started to click for Mario Wuisang, but so was also the same for Paul Zamar. But Wuisang just starting to heat up for his team. The problem is, when Brian Williams went out, the pace quickened, and that favored Paul Zamar and the rest of Mono Vampire.
Jason Brickman has just done a great job of recognizing where his teammates have been on offense, and it's just resulted in this remarkable run by the Mono Vampire.
Shane Edwards, of course, had that highlight. Mario Wuisang with the assist that time. Mario Wuisang actually had 3 triples in that third period. But again, you do not want to get into a running game with Mono Vampire and allow them all these open looks, especially in transition. This is where they thrive in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I feel the CLS Knights have done here. They've fallen into the trap of going into the running game. They've done well on offense, making their shots, but once you go in the running game with the Mono Vampire, it's just so difficult to stop them on defense.
So think about it. It is 60-57. Mono Vampire has doubled their output from the first 20 minutes of action in just 10 minutes.
That's the potential that they have on offense. You just, once they start clicking, once Jason Brickman just starts finding his players in the positions that he needs, that's just the kind of team that the Mono Vampire are.
Look at that, 33rd period points coming from the Mono Vampires. 20, not bad for the CLS Knights, but at the end of the day, you have just fallen into a mono trap. Start of the final period in this one. Game still in the balance though. Wuisang back on the floor after being lifted to end the third. Here's Leash. Leash on the step back. That's offline. Oh, that's good actually. Look offline from where we were sitting, TK.
That's the kind of shot that Freddie Lynch thrives in. It's one of those broken plays, gets the points for his team.
Brickman gets the baseline, drops it off again. Tiro Machatachon is just moving so well without the ball.
It's more wizardry from Jason Brickman. His 11th assist already. He doesn't need to score to affect his team on offense.
Back to a 3-point lead now for Mono. Oh, great escape that time for Keith Jensen. Not bad for a guy who's just trying to recuperate from food poisoning a couple of days ago. And a 3 is in. Jason Brickman wanting to get involved in the offense as well by virtue of points.
Jason Brickman saying, I can pass, but I can also shoot as well. Can't leave me open.
That lead is up to 4 now for Mono. Yes, folks, if you just stepped out to get a snack, all of a sudden Mono is on top after being down 15. Mario Wuisang still fighting. That lead is down to 2. Chance of defense now. Brickman, Singletary has it stripped. Freddie Leash leading the break. Wuisang will finish. And a quick timeout by Douglas Marty. All of a sudden we have a tied game.
That's a sigh of relief by the CLS faithful there. Great defensive swipe by Freddie Lish. Unselfish pass on the other end. Mario Wuisang starting to cook.
Mario Wuisang getting the finish on that fast break. But again, Mike Singletary is on the bench to begin the 4th. We don't expect him to stay there very long.
For sure, Mike Singletary, he's just getting a breather. He's just saving up energy to explode once the team needs him again. But there's still no sign of Brian Williams on the bench, and that's going to be a huge factor going into the tail end of the game once Coach Douglas Marty is more comfortable putting Sam Deguara and Michael Singletary back in the game.
He might have required stitches on that cut that he suffered on his lip at the start of the 3rd quarter. But, you know, on the other side, no Sam Deguara as well, but they really haven't needed him.
Well, yeah, Mono Vampire, from the start of the season, they've been a team that's thrived running up and down, and that's just something that they're doing here. That's something that they've done well. Sam Deguara has just been an addition that adds more dimension to the offensive game.
He's back, though. Bears a striking resemblance to Brook Lopez, if you really put it in perspective, but he's a lot taller at 7'5". Singletary is also back on the floor. Mono wants to finish the job, but we have a tied game with 8:15 to go. Brickman trying to lose Wuisang. Brickman gets away, but can't get it to go. And look at that. Sam Deguara didn't even have to jump.
Just makes it look so easy.
Well, TK, if you were 7'5", you'd probably be an all-world player right now. Mono Vampire, Thailand, regain the lead. Brickman, I'll make that Jensen, getting it now to Wuisang. Wuisang on the step back. And Deguara comes away with a rebound again. And a steal by Leash. Freddie challenging Deguara. You gotta give it to Freddie, little Freddie, against Sam the Giant.
What a smart play there by Freddie. He knew he was going up against the bigger Sam Deguara and maybe sold that a little to the refs.
Well, he fell harder than he's ever fallen this entire season. Number 4 on Sam. Freddie Leash, the heritage import out of Thailand, but playing for Indonesia. How about that?
Just Freddie Lish, he's been just going all around. He was playing with Malaysian Dragons last year, going to Indonesia this year. It just shows him how much talent he has that the other teams in the region are clamoring for him to play.
He used to go by the name of Freddie Goldstein before he changed it again this season. Tied at 67. 7.5 to play in the 4th. Double high screen provided for Brickman. Brickman wants to penetrate, gets it out. High-low action doesn't work because it's batted out by Shane Edwards. Now Shane Edwards now has to go the extra mile without Brian Williams in the fold.
But nice anticipation defense there. I think the CLS Knights knew that eventually the ball would have to rotate back to Sam Deguara, and the read was good.
Well, you're going to see a lot of high-low action with Deguara there, that's for sure. And there it is, Deguara working the post. Deguara, again, doesn't even have to jump to dunk it.
Usually more gentle than that, but Sam Deguara probably unleashing some of his frustration right there on Shane Edwards.
Only 8 points so far today for the 7'5" reinforcement from Malta. And Keith Jensen has been contributing. 6:47 to play. They go to Sam once again, and Sam puts it in once again.
Once the tempo starts picking up, the players are spread out a little bit more, giving more space to Sam DeGuara. Jason Brickman's just taking advantage of that.
Three-pointer on its way. Not that time for the Knights. Into the front court once again. Singletary all alone under the hoop. And a timeout called by the CLS Knights. The lead is now 4 points, 73-69 for Mono Vampires with 6:21 remaining. And you know, there is no such thing as mercy in basketball. There is no Brian Williams. All right, let's take it inside. That's exactly what Mono has been doing, and they've been doing it with a lot of success. But see how they've changed their offense from the third period, where Paul Zamar practically carried them, to now going straight inside and seeing, oh, there's no rim protector. It's only Shane Edwards.
And it's the concern that we were raising earlier in the quarter, what the CLS Knights were going to do once Michael Singletary, Sam DeGuara comes back onto the floor. And right now it just seems that they hadn't prepared well enough to stop that run.
Well, I was saying that Shane Edwards is used to playing against 7-footers in the NBA, but I don't think he had to guard any of them on a full-time basis, unless your name, of course, is Kevin Durant, who plays from the outside. And now concern creeping in on the fans here. They know that a loss here will be very detrimental in any hopes they have of getting out of that hole at the bottom of the standings.
And the fans love this team so much. They're just so into every move that the team makes. The loss here will be so heartbreaking for the CLS Knights faithful.
And to think they had the game under control for 2.5 periods. And again, with no Brian Williams, nobody there to stop big 7'5" Sam DeGuara. 6:20 remaining. Let's see what the response is. Coming off the timeout by Coponugro. Pete Jensen. Jensen gets it out. Edwards hasn't hit a three since the first. Woisang has been hitting threes all over the place. Oh, it's a great tap by Freddie Leash to keep it alive. Shane Edwards waltzes into the lane.
Such an emotional play there. Gammy Long just tapping the ball back to the possession of the Knights, setting up that offense.
Defense, the call of the day here. They know they're close. 5:40 remaining. Brickman gets it outside. Zamar again, not this time. Battle for the rebound. A yeoman's effort by Shane Edwards, and gets that off the leg of Sam DeGuara.
Just gotta give a round of applause here for Shane Edwards, throwing his body on defense and then having to go on offense to try to find a way to score over Sam DeGuara.
He is playing center right now. Shane Edwards at 6'7". There's the drive. Freddie Leash tries a jackknife. No result that time. Crowd wanted a foul. Brickman, Singletary, Zamar for three. Big shot. Paul Zamar has lit it up here in the second half.
What a swing there. Freddie was unable to draw the foul on the other end. Paul Zamar punishes him on defense.
Lead is now 5, largest of the league, largest of the game, believe it or not, for Mono. Freddie Leash unleashes again. That triple cuts it down to 2. Boy, Freddie Leash picked a great day to break out of his funk, but it's still not over. They're still down by 2, with 4.5 to play. Zamar. And Woisang gets it, a chance to tie or take the lead. They will go for the lead. Edwards foul taking a three-pointer, and that could be it for Sam DeGuara.
What a game.
Sam DeGuara tried to challenge from behind, and the 7'5" Maltese center is gone.
Down goes the giant. The CLS Knight fans are letting him hear it. What a play by the CLS Knights here. This could change the entire momentum of the game.
3 free throws coming up for Shane Edwards, but he missed the front end already with a double-double, 23 and 11. But he'll trade all of those stats for a victory right here. He loves this team. He loves the guys. He says it's so easy to adjust to a team with such light people. So Shane Edwards can knot it up with his third free throw in this trip. He does not, but Phil Manugro comes away with it. Or check that, that's Jimmy Lunn getting the rebound. Woysang for three. Yes! Timeout, Mono Vampires. CLS Knights reclaim the lead. To 76, the 38-year-old ageless wonder Mario Woysang gives Indonesia a reason to celebrate on a Wednesday night.
You don't go under the screen against Mario Woysang.
My goodness.
That's just something Jason Brickman learned right there. Mario Woysang dropping his fourth three-pointer in the game, getting them back into the lead.
And the faces of the crowd that was just frowning a few moments ago when they were down by 5, all of a sudden erupting once again as they're up by 2. This has been one of the most unpredictable games all season long. Probably the only game that's better than this is the first meeting between Hong Kong Eastern and the Saigon Heat.
Yeah, and a lot of credit has got to go to Gemilang, who came into the game. I don't think they were expecting a lot from him just to play solidly, but he has come up with so many game-changing offensive rebounds, giving that extra possession to put the Knights into the situation right now.
That is Caleb Gemilang.
Gemilang only playing 9 minutes so far, does not have any points. The only stats on his score sheet right now are those 2 offensive rebounds, and those 2 are just so precious to the game.
And he's moonlighting as a center, quote unquote. 4 minutes to go. Can the Knights hang on? Singletary wants the first step against Jensen. Almost has it taken away, and a foul is called on Keith. That's just the first team foul for the Knights. So Mike Singletary was actually teammates with Keith Jensen in the PBA, playing for Barako Bull a couple of years back. Now they have to go up against each other, and it was probably the biggest game for both of these players. Mono, of course, looking to keep that hope of making it out right to the semifinals alive. CLS trying to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Singletary now 5 of 6 from the line. He was signaling the ref that the ball was a bit wet earlier. That's an adjustment you have to make when you're playing at Gorkha Jaya. The humidity here might throw you off if you don't adjust appropriately.
And the floor gets a little slippery here as well. So again, tied game, 78 all, 3 and 43 to play. Keith Jensen from 20. And the rebound picked up by Mike Singletary. A chance for Mono to reclaim the lead on this offensive. Singletary isolated, gets it out to Paul Zamar. Zamar working on the screen, gets it out again to Singletary. Shot clock down to 10 for Mono. Singletary puts it on the floor, does the crossover. Leash is all over him, and Leash was all over him too much that he gave up the foul.
But just great defense there by Federation, both on Paul Zamar, getting away from the screens and then switching to Singletary, not letting him get where he wants to go. Unfortunately, a foul call there to the end, and they've got to start all over with 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, the thing is, maybe Kokonugro might have discovered something. Mike Singletary has a problem with smaller defenders. Brickman gets it inside. Oh, great defense by Shane Edwards.
That's going to bring up the energy of the CLS Knights. Let's see if they can make the Mono Vampire pay on this side.
Mario Woysang wants to run the pick and roll. Nobody guarding him. He'll float it up. And Tino Chantachon gets it. Tied game, less than 3 minutes remaining. Brickman spots up. And he has been missing. Freddie Leash in the open floor. On the pull-up. That would have been big. Brickman pushing it up. Chatachon with the pick. Brickman, everything goes through this Phil-American point guard. Zamar from the corner. Paul Zamar has had an amazing shooting display here in the second half.
What a dagger that was too.
Uh-oh. Gemilan finally gets on the scoreboard. Caleb Gemilan cuts it down to 1 with under 2 minutes to play. Hang on, folks. This is high drama in Indonesia. Pass inside, a foul is called, but free throws will be coming up.
Again, what a pass that was by Jason Brickman, just threading the needle to Chanachon Glahan. It's going to make him earn it at the line, though.
Chanachon Glahan has been here so many times in the past. One of the more physical players, but also one of the more soft-spoken players for the Mono Vampire squad. And he's too much of a veteran to be, affected by the jeers of the crowd here in Indonesia.
Yeah, Chanachon Glahan just recently recovering from an injury. He's just blessed to be back here on the court.
No problem on the 2 free throws as expected. It is a 3-point lead for Mono with a minute and a half remaining in regulation. Jensen for 3. And Singletary secures. Time is running out now for the CLS Knights. They just came off a heartbreaker against the Saigon Heat. Will it happen again here on their home floor? Coming up on a minute remaining. Singletary looking for a friend. Paul Zamar on the drive. They get it out. 3-pointer is not there for Chanachon Glahan. Mario Wuisang needs to make sure this goes through him. Edwards for 3. Edwards tracks it down, another 3. And this time Brickman holds it in. 2 open looks missed. 30 seconds to go. Mono 83, Knights 80, and they do have a foul to give, and they use it right there.
Interesting decision there by Shane Edwards. There was plenty more time to get a quick 2, settle down on defense, and come back on offense. Edwards is trying to ease way out to tie the game. Doesn't get the basket, and now they have to work it out on defense to get the ball back.
That is team foul number 4 for CLS. They cannot foul anymore without giving up free throws. And probably the worst free throw shooter on the floor for Mono would be Tirawa Chatachon, who's 0 for 2 today. But Singletary has it on top. Singletary, dagger 3! That might just put this away with 16.2 remaining. And another heartbreak on the horizon for the CLS Knights, TK.
Just a lot of composure there by Mike Singletary. He's done that time and again for the Mono Vampire every time he's played. Just calm, composed, taking that shot, swishing it in.
Oh, that was nothing but net. That was a major splash coming from Singletary, who's got 30 in the game. Now with 16.2 remaining, we all know that it's really not over until the final buzzer. But they need a miracle right here. The CLS Knights, boy oh boy, coming off a 5-point loss against the Saigon Heat. A game they could have won the same way they're losing right now to the visitors from Thailand.
What a swing of emotions it's been. The CLS Knights, they were up big. They allowed the Mono Vampires to make a run back in, take the lead. And they themselves came back with another run of their own, and it's slipping away from them again here right now.
The celebration started when Sam DeGuara fouled out. here in the fourth period. And CLS had picked up the lead on that three-pointer by Mario Wuisang. But since then, CLS Knights have only scored 2 points since the Wuisang 3. And it has been a 10-2 run right now. To close out for the Mono Vampires. Now with 16 seconds remaining. They need a quick basket right here. Leash wants to step back. Leash, 8 seconds. Leash forces it up. No way. And Singletary will dribble the time away. Freddie Leash is down. Looks like he might have hurt himself. But I guess what is more hurt right now are the chances of the CLS Knights of making it to the playoffs as the Mono Vampires come away with an 86-80 victory on the road, fortifying their chances of making it outright to the semifinals. They meet the Changsan Kung Fu next. So with Mono getting this victory right now, and dropping to 3 and 12 in the standings. 3 teams are going to get eliminated. And of course, CLS Knights starting to look to be one of those teams. There's a confirmation of your final score. Mono Vampire Thailand winning 86-80 against CLS Knights Indonesia. Take a look at some of the highlights here, TK. And you're right about the emotions going up and down for the Knights in this one. But the last emotion is something they didn't want to feel.
The CLS Knights, they were in it all game. They had control over the lead. They just let it slip away. And just some questionable decisions towards the end of the game that cost it. It's a learning process. This is a new team. This is their first time playing in the ASEAN Basketball League. They're going to learn from this. But right now, the pain will sting.
Of course, Brian Williams, we have to hope that he's okay for the next game. Left and the early goings of the third period, that's allowing Sam DeGuara to get all these little dunks. But again, you got to give it to the Knights. They fought tooth and nail in this one. Shane Edwards gave his body and soul along with Freddie Leash and Mario Wuisang. Freddie Leash, of course, with big shot after big shot, but in the end, Paul Zamar, Jason Brickman, Mike Singletary, they just buried the opposition.
Mike Singletary, those 3 guys, they just kept on raining in dagger after dagger after dagger until the CLS Knights were just unable to get up from their mishaps.
A couple of role players as well to congratulate. Tino Wachantachon actually played well off the bench, holding the fort while Sam DeGuara had foul trouble. And you're also talking about Caleb Gemilang, who also came off the bench and held his own when Brian Williams went down with the injury, but it was not enough. Boy, oh boy, the CLS Knights Indonesia are in dire straits.
But they are still mathematically in the run for the playoffs. They can still do this. They just got to get back and compose. It's 2 lessons that they need to figure out what they've been doing wrong, figure it out, just fix it and go back into the game.
Doug Marty must be a very happy man right now. I don't know if happy is the right word or relieved. He was really put on the ropes in this one. Imagine 30 first half points. I don't remember Mono going 30 first half points the entire season, but they made up for it by scoring 30 points all in the third period.
Yeah, just
that changed the tone.
Just great adjustments. They shot 9 of 19 from the 3-point line in the second half.
Well, speaking of Doug Marty, Keely has him right now. He's our winning coach, and Keely has an interview with Doug Marty of Mono Vampire.
Hi guys, it's back with your girl Keely G, and right now with me I have Coach Douglas. Hi Coach, how are you?
Hi, fine, thanks. After that, I feel really good.
All right Coach, so what was the main factor in the fourth quarter that made you win?
Well, I thought the main factor was we finally got some offensive rhythm and made a couple of big shots. I mean, their defense was good. They controlled the tempo throughout most of the game, especially in the first half. We really struggled to get our offensive rhythm going. And I thought that finally clicked in. We made a couple key baskets, and I thought that put us over the top.
All right, that's good for your team, Coach. So, Coach, what was your strategy when big mans weren't playing?
Well, you know, that was a big loss, losing him, because unfortunately Williams got hurt. That was a big advantage for us with Sam. Well, we trust all our guys. We had to double team a little more in the post and try to run once we came in for Sam's replacement. So really stay the course, try to keep that rhythm, and continue to work together on offense and just really hope for the best. The Knights are a really good team. They have a good roster. They're very tough here, and especially, and they're getting it together. So we're really happy to come in here and survive this victory.
All right, Coach, congratulations on your win. Thank you so much for your time and for the interview. Gonna throw it back to you guys.
And again, they sweep the season series against the CLS Knights. These teams are not in the same bracket, so they will not meet again unless they make it to the playoffs. And at this point, well, the CLS Knights, they need a minor miracle to get out of this hole they have at the bottom of the standings.
For sure, they cannot linger on this loss and the loss before these. They just have to come back. It's still probable to come back into this game. They have the roster, as Doug Marty mentioned, they have the roster to pull it off. They just got to focus on what they need to do. Here you see the stats of the game. The three-point shooting percentage, as we mentioned, at halftime. Mono Vampire were only 1 for 13. They came back 9 for 19 in the second half. That was the main factor that got them going. It spread out the floor. It got Sam DeGuara back into action.
And the numbers actually just sort of cancel each other out. That the victory probably for the CLS Knights is they won the rebounding battle despite the fact that Sam DeGuara was on the opposing squad. But again, the loss of Brian Williams was a little too much to bear in the end for the CLS Knights.
Yeah, the numbers just show how close this game was. And aside from the big man difference there, Jason Brickman, he just had a great game. 15 assists. That really set up the tempo for the Mono Vampire.
Mike Singletary coming away with a 31-point performance. Sam DeGuara still came away with 11 rebounds, another double-double for him. Shane Edwards with 24 and 13 to lead the way for the CLS Knights. Mario Wusang with 5 assists, some big shots down the stretch, but again, it was not enough against the visiting team from Thailand. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, our coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League will continue all season long, and we'd like to thank you for sharing this coverage with us. I'm sure you have a parting shot to all your fans, especially your fans in Thailand. Total knockout.
Well, it's just been a great atmosphere here in Surabaya. Just a great game, and hopefully both teams will come back stronger in the next games and successfully claim their playoff hopes.
Well, keep it right here, ladies and gentlemen. We will bring you all the games of the ASEAN Basketball League all season long. And on behalf of my partner, I will get your name right once again. Let me read that. Sajatam Kulsumbon, we call him TK, the Sultan of Stats, and of course Keely, our courtside, Arnold, our boss over here at Surabaya, and all the hardworking men and women that have put this game together. We would like to thank all of you for watching our continuing coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League. My name is Noel Zarate. We'll see you next time. So easy to work with. I wish all my analysts